All right, we're going to move into Domain 6. Domain 6 is Security Assessment and Testing. This domain focuses on validating that security controls are effective, that these security controls have measurability, and that they align with the risk that we have in our organization, specifically our risk tolerance. It's going to be about proving what's been implemented actually works in the organization, and we're going to do that through testing, through auditing, and through continuous monitoring. So some of the key topics that we're going to be covering here are assessment strategies, internal versus external audits, doing vulnerability assessments, penetration testing methodologies, security testing in development and production environments, different testing techniques, whether we're going to use static or dynamic code analysis, what are synthetic transactions, what is fuzzing. We'll also talk about interface testing, regression testing, and user acceptance testing. We'll speak about security process data collection as well, things like log reviews, security metrics, trend analysis, manual versus automated testing tools, and continuous monitoring and SIEM integration, right? So it says here, security assessment and testing covers a broad range of ongoing and point-of-time based testing methods used to determine vulnerabilities and associated risk. All right, the goal is early identification of technical, operational, system deficiencies so that corrective actions can be developed prior to fielding a system. The creation of test and evaluation involves planning for technology development, including risk, evaluating the system design against mission requirements, and identifying where competitive prototyping and other evaluation techniques fit in the process. We'll also look at control validation, verifying technical and administrative controls, mapping controls to compliance frameworks like PCI DSS or NIST or ISO frameworks. What is risk-based prioritization, and how do we apply that to our findings? And then finally, reporting and remediation, meaning that we have to communicate our findings to our stakeholders. We have to be able to track remediation efforts, and we need to retest and validate cycles and run different validation cycles in order to confirm, right? The content of the test and the evaluation strategy function of where it gets applied in acquisition and development process, requirements for the capability to be provided, and technologies that drive required capabilities. Right? We have to have knowledge to understand risk. We have to be able to capture empirical data to validate our models and our simulations. We have to have evaluation of technical performance and system maturity, and we have to have a determination of operational efficiencies, suitability, and survivability. The goal of strategy is to identify, manage, and mitigate risk, which requires identifying strengths and weaknesses of systems or services being provided to meet the end goal of acquisition or development programs. The strategy should drive the process that confirms compliance with an initial capabilities document. Instead of discovering later functional performance, non-functional goals are not being met. Okay? So we'll be talking about assessment and test strategies, security control testing, vulnerability assessments, pen testing, log reviews, synthetic transactions, code review and testing, negative testing, misuse case testing, test coverage analysis, interface testing, how do we collect security process data, account management, management review, key performance and risk indicators, backup verification data, training and awareness, disaster recovery, business continuity, test output, automation, manual testing, and finally conducting or facilitating internal and third-party audits. So this domain counts for about 12% of the exam. That's about 30 questions, maybe if you have a 250 question format. You guys will most likely be taking the linear format of the exam, but basically 12% of the overall exam score. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We'll see you in the next video.